Hello, everyone. It's Lori Staley, Addicted Stamper with Stampin' Up. And it is Sunday night at 8, so it is time for our Sunday Simple Stamping. And even though I have a fun fold request tonight, it's still simple. It's a really fun fold. I'd never heard of it till the person reached out and asked me to do it. So we're going to do that one tonight. Then I have another request that I'm working on for hopefully next Sunday night. So if you have a request of a particular card, make sure you throw it towards me. If I can figure it out, I'll be happy to show you how to do it. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Did you get your package, Lisa? Hi, Ashley. Hey, Thelma. Thank you guys for sharing. I appreciate that so much. Hi, Valerie. Good to see everyone. All right, so it's really cold in my studio today because I didn't have the fireplace on. I wasn't always down here. Hi, Cheryl, thank you. Hi, Carol, good to see ya. So it's really cold, like my hands are really cold. Okay, so, I have this beautiful machine laying here because just another reminder that celebration is going on, but it is only going on until the end of February. We're used to having it run January through March, and then we're used to having a second one come back later in the summer. That's not happening this year. January and February only for celebration. January and February is your only chance to get the Boho Blue mini embossing machine, along with $175 in product of your choice out of either the annual catalog or the mini catalog for $129 plus shipping. Stampin' Up even picks up the, not plus shipping, plus tax. They pick up the shipping. So keep that in mind, because once that promotion ends, February 28th, then this machine will not be available to just purchase it at the regular $63 for the mini machine. So if this is something you want, you want to make sure you're grabbing that kit and ask me questions. I'll be happy to share. I can even do a Q&A over in our private group some night if people are interested in that. So you have an opportunity to ask questions. But don't forget about it, right? Also, don't forget that when you spend $150 in product with me during January and February, you qualify for the exclusive celebration after party. So what does that mean? That means that any extra celebration products that I have, you still have access to. So we do a party, there's some kits that you can earn with levels of orders. So you would be able maybe to get another $50 product for free, or $100 product, celebration product for free during the celebration after party. But again, you must spend that $150 in product in January and February to qualify for that. And we will probably be doing that closer to the end of March, because I'm supposed to be at retreat the first 2 weekends in March. And then I have the eye surgery. So we'll try to fit it in there in between. Make that happen for everybody. Let's see. Hello, Connie. Hi, Sharon. Thank you for sharing. Hi, Jan. Good to see you. Hi, Corinne. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I just took the blue out and put purple under it because me and my purples, right? Hey, Sheila. Good to see you. But so yeah, so there's that special with the mini celebration, mini embossing machine, and then the special to spend $150 in product during January and February with me and get your exclusive invitation to that after party. And it's fun. We do special projects that you haven't seen before. There's door prizes. We do, prize patrol, as I like to call it, throughout the event. There's at least 2 or 3 of those. So there's opportunities to win additional prizes. So you want to make sure you get in there. Well, hi, Shirley. Good to see you. Sheila's watching from Delaware. How's the weather in Delaware, Sheila? All right. What else do I want to share with you? Let's see. The end of the month is coming. So we have, 2 days left to, hey, Betty, thank you, to earn the January Just cards. I bet you're soon ready to see new ones, aren't you? Lots of you have earned these already, and thank you so much for that. Again, if you don't know about my Just cards, with a minimum $35 product order on my website using the host code. Okay, this is important. This is the trigger for me when I'm reviewing to say, oh, this person placed the qualifying order, we need to make sure they get on the list for the Just Cards. Minimum $35 product order. You will receive all 5 kits. You can come to the in-person class if you're local, which is on February 8th at 3 o'clock. I will do a 6 o'clock session if there's enough interest, or you can do a porch pickup if you're local. If you're long distance, there's a $4 charge to mail the cards to you, which I prefer check simply because of fees and all of that, trying to keep costs down. But we can do PayPal friends and family for that if you prefer to pay that way. And then we get these ready at the beginning of the month and they go in the mail, usually by the 8th or whatever day the class is. But you do have to also, if you're planning on coming to the in-person class, you do have to reserve your spot. So you need to let me know by the end of Tuesday if you're planning to come to the in-person class, whether you've earned the card kit for free or whether you want to buy the class for $15 and come and make the cards. You can do it either way. Okay. All right, so we made these beautiful cards with love cats on Thursday. They're so cute, right? So we did a traditional Valentine's card, and then we did what I call a Galentine's card or a friendship card. I love hanging out with you. Life is better with friends like you. And then we just went rogue, right? And we did something completely different that has nothing to do with Valentine's. I turned this one into a feel better friend, thinking of you card. So, and there was that swipe dry embossing technique that I like to do when we have 3D embossing folders. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. All right, it was 59 and sunny yesterday. Oh, windy and rainy this afternoon. That's a bummer. The winner of these cards is Carol Vegan. So Carol, I'm going to pop these back here. Mailings will be going out Wednesday. So if you're waiting on cards or things from me, that's when they will be going out. Everything always just wanders away from here, but I do want to put your name on this because I got to go back and look at videos because the Post-it notes fell off 2 stacks behind me and I can't remember who won them. Ooh, that's not good. I want to make sure the folks get them. Okay, so congratulations, Carol. And we are going to hop right into the projects now. So the first one we're going to do was a project that we did in club, and it is, yeah, it's been Carol's week because I think Carol Zezer won some this week too. We used the adorable owls. We did this in my stamp club, as I just said. It's really cute, really quick and easy. So we're going to do that one. Then I'm going to move into that special request that I had from Jerry. Wow. And this is just the thick basic white, 5.5 by 8.5. I should take it out of the plastic because it's probably reflecting off the light. I always put these in the sleeves when I have them at in-person classes so they don't end up falling in an ink pad. I know you all probably can relate to that, right? And then on the inside, wishing you the best birthday ever. Isn't he cute? I just love those little owls. I think they're so adorable. Then we have all of our circles, which I cut my circles from my layer, right? And then I embossed this with that new metallic embossing folder that's part of the Let It Ride bundle, I think it's called. That set, I keep waffling on that set. My nephew does dirt biking. And so, well, we don't have a dirt bike. A motorcycle's close, and I am fearful that someday he will have a motorcycle. At least he's a little older now. So I keep waffling whether I want to buy the actual set. I like the paper. I do love the paper. It's great designer paper in there. Those glossy black roses are gorgeous, and then so many patterns in there that are great for masculine cards. But that's where the embossing folder is. You will find that with that particular product collection. And then our blue circles here that we have, this comes from the Daydream designer paper pack, which is one of the $100 rewards. When you buy $100 in product, you can get that paper pack. That's on page 14 in the Celebration catalog. And they're all subtles. Calypso corals, pale papayas, fresh freesias. I say subtle colors, they're not necessarily all in the subtle family, because of course some of those are in colors. There's a little bit of green. I think it's granny apple green. So there is one little bright in there, but I love this pack of paper. It's 48 sheets. So you get 4 each of the 12 different designs, which of course are double-sided. And I love it. It makes great backgrounds. It makes great accent images. Don't do what I did. Don't mount your basic white till you get your circles on there, because we're going to trim them even with the edges. So let me put that down on a silicone mat, and I will go ahead and do some mounting here. About in the center. And these, of course, were done with the layering circles. You can also use your circle punches if you have those. We keep putting in the ear of Stamping Up that we would like the circle punches to come back. But you know, punches are one of those non-consumable items, right? So once you've had them, once you've gotten them, you don't really need to buy them again, because our punches last a really long time. The color, the blue color, is Coastal Cabana. Coastal Cabana is our blue color here. I think he's up just a little too high. Let's drop him a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to trim those end circles off, even with the white. But again, punches make it simple, but just cutting circles out of designer paper isn't difficult either. So I figured it qualified for simple stamping tonight. Yes, the owls are adorable, no question. I can't decide which pose is my favorite. I like them all. Like the little guy flying, he's so cute. And I'll tell you, if my ruler is still here, if it didn't wander off. It looks like it did. In fact, I could tell you the size of the circle I used. But yeah, it's not. I'm gonna grab one for you. So the circle size for the designer series paper is just about 1 3/4. Whatever comes close to that on the layers. And this one I think is 2 1/2, close to 2 1/2. Yeah, like 2 3/8 maybe. All right, so we're gonna end up popping that one up. Let's put the inside greeting in there if I have it with me. We'll end up popping up that larger circle. So we're going to go ahead and stamp our little owl here. Hi, Marlene. In case you are someone who's thinking about putting a refill order in, I will tell you that Memento is on low inventory right now, Memento refill. The other thing I will tell you, sadly, is that, and I don't even know what the name of it is, but the bundle with the 4-leaf clover punch that's in the mini catalog. Give me 1 second and I'll pull that up and show it to you. The punch is sold out. So it has been made not available at this point. Whether or not it will be back in stock doesn't look like it. Usually when they make it not available, it doesn't come back. I think I did tell you on Thursday that the Country Bouquet Heart Punch, that is not orderable right now, but that is expected to come back in April. But this one right here, this Lucky Clover bundle, the punch is gone. And I literally was just thinking about ordering that because, again, you can make hearts from the 4-leaf clover. But now make your 4-leaf clover with your heart punch. If you have a heart punch, you can do it that way. Or your 3-leaf, right? So the stamp set's still available, but not the punch. So I wanted to make sure you were aware of that so you didn't get disappointed. We are going to color this owl light crumb cake for his face. I spent a lot of time at my mother's the last few days. Nothing ever goes as easily as you think it's going to. We ordered new appliances. How difficult could that be? Oh, don't ever ask yourself that question, because it's like throwing temptation out to the world or fate or whatever you want to call it, because it was the most difficult appliance delivery situation I've ever had anywhere. But I'm happy to say they are in and they are functional. I wasn't sure. Was not sure that was going to be the case. And then they came and got the furniture and the boxes, most of the boxes out of the house for sale. So it was a sad weekend, but a necessary one. I'm going to do that bow tie with we don't have Coastal Cabana blends, so I'm using the Tahitian tie because they're fairly close. Okay, this is the light, so I'm going to do all over with the light. And then I'm going to do the dark for the center. And just add those little accents on the lines that the artist drew in there. And then I'm using Light Soft Suede. Hi, Debbie. I'm using Light Soft Suede and bronze to do the little owl. So I'm going to do, oh, I forgot his feet. And I need a new bronze blend. The felt tip, or the brush tip on that end is completely shot. So I'm going to layer this in here, and then I'm going to come back with the darker bronze and just do a little bit of shading. I love with the blends that you can be an artist if you want to be, but you don't have to be, right? You can just color him straight out and he'll look adorable. Or you can come back in and do a little something more. And I know coloring, watching me sit here and color, apparently I need a new soft suede too. Is like watching paint dry. Speaking of that, if any of my Gettysburg area friends are on here and know of a reasonable painter to come do some painting inside a house, I would love it if you would shoot me their information. I don't know when I'm going to be ready for that, but I know it's in my future. Oh, my wandering husband just came home. I haven't seen him since 2 o'clock. All right, so we laid down a layer of the light soft suede. Now I'm going to come in with the bronze. I'm just going to add those shadows where I think they would fall. And I really do this in a 3-step process. I know some people just do a 2-step, but I tend to lay the light color down, come back in and add in the dark. So this side is going to be mostly dark because the shadow, the light's coming in this way. So this would fall into shadow over here. Down there's a little bit of shadow. Under his little head, we're going to have some shadow on this side. All right. Some people will just lay the dark down first. I do that occasionally, but mostly I do a 3-step because then I'm just going to come back and I'm just going to bleed that out a little bit. Smooth out any lines, if you will, right? And then leave that highlight there in the center of his little forehead. This actually bled out pretty nicely on its own tonight. I think we're good, except I forgot his little feet. I gotta come back and do his feet. Your painter moved to Florida. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna want to come up and do a couple of rooms. I'll tell you what, though, I mean, as sad as it was, I was glad that the boxes left because that was wearing on me down there. There was boxes everywhere. All right, so we're going to mount that on the larger Coastal Cabana circle, and then we're going to pop him up. I've got pieces and parts that I need to use up the dimensionals. So let's do that. This is a good one to use that. I got one full one there. So I know that Debbie shared a card she made over in the VIP group today from the card we made last Sunday. And I love it when you all share what you're working on. So make sure you do that. I love seeing it, and I know others do too, and you might inspire someone. Yeah, I love the owls too, Sharon. I'm going to put him on this side because I placed my, so we're just shifting him over a little bit. It's Your Day comes right out of the Adorable Owl set. See, I can't decide which one of those I like better, which owl position. Which one do you like? You have a favorite owl? I have a kitty cat trying to stamp with us. I had to chase her. She didn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave. Good boy. Let me put a little something down there in case I miss it. Which is very possible. Yeah, I didn't miss it, but let's see if I can get it down a little bit. Nope, that one's worse. We're going with that one. The bow tie. Bottom two. The bottom two. No bow ties in there. The one on the right, the little flying guy. Yeah. Yeah, those are probably my two favorites. I like him. And I've actually taken the hat, stamped that, cut it off of him, and put it on. I think I put it on that one for another project. I don't know. He looks like he's worrying or something. I don't know. The way he's holding his little hands. Yeah, this side. So, but I think they're all adorable. I love them. And they're very easy to color, even if you do give them yellow beaks and noses. We're going to pop this up with some smaller ones. Oops. Okay. Maybe I'll put it over here and be less crowded since I changed the orientation up there where the large circle went. And then that greeting on the inside, as I said, that comes out of Season of Chic, wishing you the best birthday ever, which is not over there, which is why it's not in my kit, I guess. Or maybe it's in one of these other boxes I'm going to show you here in a minute. But I think he is adorable. What do you think? All right, so now I'm going to share with you a fun fold that is very, very simple. Look at this. It looks like a beautifully decorated envelope but it's actually a card. So Jerry texted me and she wanted to know how to do this envelope fold. I had to go out and do a little searching because I hadn't seen it yet. And oh my God, I can see the person in my head. Back Porch, I think her handle is Back Porch Stampers. But this is really cute and so simple. And this is, again, see, I can't stop playing with this paper. This is the Dandy Designs paper, and this beautiful Fresh Freesia shimmery circle is the fine shimmer paper. So I brought that to show you the 3 colors that are in that. Karen Titus, thank you. That's it. Yep. I am my brain, I swear. So there's the Fresh Freesia shimmer. You can see I took my circles out of that. We have the gold shimmer. And we have the soft succulent. So this is absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I see me playing with it a lot more in my future. But I was looking for something to offset that circle, because the key here, as you can probably see, right, is that you need, and that's in the mini catalog. So if you're looking for the shimmer paper, that's the mini catalog. You need something popped up so that you have a place to slide the flap in under, right? So let me show you how easy this is. First of all, your cardstock measurements, you have a piece. In my particular case, and you don't have to do this on white, you can put other colors in there. My particular case, I have a 8 by 5 1/4, which I am going to score at 4. So it is just a bit smaller than the standard 8.5 by 5 1/2. It is 8 by 5 1/4. The reason it's 8 by 5 1/4 is we're gonna mount it just on a 1/4 sheet of regular cardstock. So I scored that at 4. And there is my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of Highland Heather, which I think works beautifully with that particular design from the Dandy Designs. Here are my circles that we're going to use. Let me put my bag out of the way. We're going to score the square. So the square is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay. So you can get quite a few squares out of one 12 by 12 piece of designer series paper, right? You can get 3, 6, 9 squares out of one. So I'm lining up my points. Okay, my points are lined up in the track of my paper cutter. Do not use the blade. The dark is the blade, the light gray is the scoring blade. And with designer series paper, I'm not pushing hard because you can cut it, right? You can actually push it right down so hard that you'll cut the paper, or at least fray it that it might break when we bend it. So I just ran it over a few times, and if I can feel it, I might run it over a few more times. But just be careful. Like I can see it, so I should be able to feel it. I would practice maybe on printer paper, but then we're going to fold it in half like this. Now I think we're done with the paper trimmer and the scoring blade and all that. And then I'm just going to crease that. So we actually have a triangle. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this piece back in so we can do a little stamping. Hi, Lisa. Thank you. So I kept this one really simple, and then I have another one I'll share with you as well. We are going to, hopefully I get this straight. I'm going to actually crease that with the bone folder so it lays a little flatter for us. It's amazing what that bone folder can do for you. All right, I'm thinking that looks fairly straight. I'm using, let me tell you what this stamp comes from. This comes from Ranunculus Romance. I was looking for a border stamp and our new dainty borders didn't work the way I wanted them to. They weren't long enough, they were too short, or they were too long. So I found this one in my stash. I actually really love this stamp set. We did play with this before. Great for doing collage type works with the images here. And then you have the beautiful rose stamp and some really nice greetings in there as well. So that's in the annual catalog. That's where you'll find that. And I'm going to stamp it down here towards the bottom. I'm going to flip it because it's going to be easier for me to see it this way. And I'm going to stamp it across the top. All right, so we have that. Now we're going to add our designer series paper. This is the trick that's going to hold it closed. And it really truly does make it look like an envelope, right? But we're only going to attach it to the back, because if we put glue on both sides, guess what? You now can't open your card. You now can't open your card. So we're going to add some glue. You can use seal. I'm going to choose, if it didn't wander, my Tombow for this particular application. And I do want to make sure I get into the corners. Somebody's not happy because when Rick got home, he shut the door. So now they're trapped down here. First, they wanted to be on camera, and now they're trapped. And I'm going to line up the points of my cardstock with the ends of my card, right? It fits just very nicely in there. Make sure you do the right side. And there we go. Now, what I didn't do, and I should have before I did that, is I did not stamp the inside, because remember I put those strips on the inside. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat, maybe. We'll see. And I might just do it in the center longwise this way, so that I don't have to worry about going over into the designer series paper. See, there's always a way. Opportunity for creativity is what I call it. We're still mimicking the pattern, the design. Now we can put our greeting here. We still have plenty of room to write a message, right? We're just changing the orientation, which just adds interest. Oh, thanks, Sharon. I love it too. It's fun. It's easy. Now we can go ahead and mount this to our card base, which is again just a quarter sheet. So this absolutely fits in a regular envelope because it's still the same size as a regular card base. It's 5.5 by 4.25. You can choose to use your seal for this or your Tombow, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go back to seal for this particular. See, I've gotten smart. Where'd y'all go? Oh my. Hold, please. I lost you. Okay. Technology. Why? It's so frustrating. Well, I'm back, but I can no longer see your comments. So if I'm not responding to you, that's why. I'm going to try to come in a different way. I don't know why it just shut me down. If I can get back to you this way. Nope, comments. You can't see comments anymore. And it looks like I might be frozen. That's crazy. All right, well, we're going to keep going because there I can see my hands. So maybe I'm not frozen, but I can no longer see your comments, guys. I'm so sorry. I hate when that happens. Oh, see, that's why you got to be careful with seal because you will tear your paper. Thank goodness that's going to be hidden. It's really quite crazy. This is going to get mounted right on here, as I said. And we want to try to center it. Make it straight. Looks like a nice border the whole way around. We are going to grab the thank you stamp, and that comes from Lovely and Lasting. This is one of my favorite stamp sets, if for no other reason than the greetings. I love the font. I love the sayings that are in there. We're using the Thinking of You. We're going to use some Highland Heather ink. Oh, shoot. Wrong one. We're going to mount that in the center of our shimmer, fine shimmer paper. Don't you love those colors? I think they're beautiful. And we're going to grab some more of that edge. Now, here you want to be careful, right? Because the trick here is you want to make sure there's enough space under here for your flap to fit and not be buckled up, right? Like if I put a dimensional in the center, my flap is going to look like that. We don't want that. We want it to look nice, like nice and flat. So I'm only going to put a dimensional or a strip or whatever I'm going to use off of this on the left side on the back. And I think a strip is probably a great idea. Oh, there. Rick heard Bailey crying and let her up. And we're just going to put that right there. And then I can make sure that everything's going to lay flat. If I want to, if I feel brave, I'm going to put another little piece in there. Yeah, that'll work. So then we peel that off. And, you know, I tend to leave my thank you notes blank unless like I put that decoration in there, but I tend to leave them blank so that you have space or I have space to write my greeting to fit the situation. So there is how easy that card is. And I didn't even add additional bling to that simply because I thought the shimmer took care of any bling that we were going to need, right? Okay. All right, so that is the envelope fold card. Jerry, I hope that helped you. I wish I could see if you're commenting. I'm going to try one more thing here now that I have that one finished. And then I have one more for you. It's another envelope fold, but it's knocked up a notch, shall we say. Stepped up a notch. That's the words I'm looking for. Oh, I think the Zoom, no, it's still there. I was gonna say, I thought the Zoom might have closed on me, but it's still there. I don't know what it's doing now. Now the whole thing's going crazy. I love, 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 love that I can. Nope, now I'm completely, I mean, I'm probably still live, but I won't even be able to see what I'm doing at this point now. So my apologies. I will go back. I will read all your comments. I will respond if necessary, but it is totally just shut me down. Crazy. It's crazy, I tell you. All right, let me bring this other one in. Because, oh, wait, it just came. Oh my gosh, it just literally popped back in. Okay, good. Easter's coming. I know it's a little ways away, but Easter's coming. So I did this one in the horizontal orientation. Of course, our first one was done in the portrait orientation, right? I used the same paper. I had it out. I thought, oh, that reminds me of Easter colors. So look at that. And then the little bunny punch. And one of the reasons I mentioned that other punch is gone is, if you want this bundle, please don't wait to get it, because I can't promise you that the same thing won't happen to it. Now that is going to be found on page 21. I think it's 21. Hang on, let me double check my note here. 52, sorry. 52 in the mini catalog. Okay. And it is the punch with the stamp set. And that stamp set is adorable. Now the punch only punches this guy out. So if you want those two images to be popped, you'd have to fussy cut them. But they're pretty straightforward and clean. And I know that I'm going to be doing something with this for my Easter table. But I'm going to put white pom-poms on his tails, on their tails, because I think that'll be adorable. I think that will be adorable. And then I used our favorite new embossing folder on there as well. That cane weave embossing folder. And then I just did a little punch out with the rectangle postage punch to enter or to stamp our greeting. So, or you could have put another layer of basic white in there, right? Either way would have worked. So let me show you this same concept, right? Same approach. Although this time we're using colored cardstock, and the basic white, the thick basic white, is the 5.5 by 4 1/4. Again, this is 8 by 5 1/4, scored at 4, so it will fit nicely onto your quarter sheet of basic white. And then we have the 3 3¾ by 3 3/4 square, and we're going to score that again. Lining up those points in the cutting track itself, even though we're using it as a scoring track this time. And remember, if you want to use your bone folder to score with, I am not left-handed by any stretch of the imagination, you can do that as well, right? And then we're going to pick that out of there and just fold that over, just like we did the last time. Crease that with the bone folder. I'm going to crease this while I have the bone folder in my hand. And we're going to run this through the die cutting machine. Oh, good. Valerie got it. Yes, because I do think, and see, part of the problem with this time of the year for us is it's really hard to predict what's going to be popular and what isn't. And they do take efforts to try to get a good feel or a good idea for that. But it is, some of our punches and things come from overseas, so it takes longer to get them here. And that some countries shut down. So they're not even manufacturing right now. So this is a 3D folder. We're going to put it through like this. Actually, I'm going to put it through this way. It's easier on your machine if it starts and then hits the edge of the folder rather than trying to get it up over that edge right away. And then your specialty plate. Just doing what I'm going to hope is going to turn out to be the front, because I didn't pay attention to that when I was doing it. You can make that happen. Yep. So there's our front. We're going to take our Tombow again and glue that piece to the back. Line up those points with the edges of your card. little burnishing on the back. Okay. I already did punch the piece, the rectangle postage punch. I took care of punching that out beforehand. So let me find my reading. And I think I did it in black. I did. We're going to grab Memento. Oh, did you? Good for you. Good for you, Sheila. Oh, and Cheryl got it. Good, 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 good. Got the bunny set. Yeah, it really is a cute one. Enjoy all the moments. It's laying right in front of me, isn't it? No, somehow I just managed to send it across the table there. Okay. Then I have a couple of strips here that we're going to play with. And I brought a second one just in case I need it. We're going to do the Happy Easter. That comes right out of the bunny set with the Memento again. Yeah, well, and that's good because, you know, we haven't had a St. Patrick's Day set in a really long time. Really long time. So hopefully the popularity of it will tell Stamping Up that that is something people are interested in for the future. Certainly tells me that. All right, then I have the Easter egg set. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did one Easter egg in petal pink on each side of the Happy Easter. And I'm going to do this one. And I can do it two ways. I have my Calypso Coral ink pad here. And I know that's petal pink. I'm going to take it onto the edge here of the ink pad and just get the ink on that egg. And I'm just going to run my thumbnail across the edge of the one beside it, hoping that if there's any ink there, I can get it off. And then, because I want it to be lighter to go with the petal pink, not so dark, I'm going to off stamp it once. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this. Okay. Or you could color it with your marker. I like coloring with the markers when you want to do multiple colors on a stamp. The other thing you could do is you could put Scotch tape over the two that you don't want to get inked, ink up your stamp, pull the Scotch tape off, make sure you pull it off, and then stamp. The Scotch tape, the ink will go on the Scotch tape. When you pull it off, there'll be no ink left behind on the other stamp. So that's another way to ensure that you're only getting the ink on the image that you want. I'm going to re-ink him because it looked like I didn't get him fully inked. I'm still not getting his nose this time, so maybe I will go to the marker. There, I think I got it. So has anybody started on Easter cards yet? And I'm going to tilt this guy this way. And there's our little Easter eggs. Again, that was Calypso Coral that I used, and I off stamped it to get it to be a lighter shade to match better to the petal pink. So now I can bring this back in. This is going to get mounted with dimensional. I'm going to grab a pack of dimensionals. No, not yet. I haven't started Easter cards, but I know the designs. Well, that's good. It's always good if you've got the design in your head. My husband laughs at me because I don't think my brain really shuts off. And I'll wake up in the middle of the night with a card idea, and I'll be danged if I'm going down 2 flights of steps to sketch it out down here, or to even sit and make it at 2:30 in the morning or whatever it might be. So I now have a tablet in the drawer beside my nightstand beside the bed. And if I wake up and I think of something, we were in a restaurant one night and something hit me, and he's talking to me, and all of a sudden I grabbed a napkin and a pen out of my purse, and I'm sketching this card out on a napkin. Like, I'm really sorry, but I had to get it on paper because I won't remember it by the time we get home. He laughed at me. Can you imagine? He laughed at me for that. I thought that was brilliant myself. All right, and then this is something else. I didn't touch these flowers for however long we've had them. And now I'm like grabbing them on every single card. It's crazy. But you know what? It's the right colors. It's the right colors. So we even have the Calypso Coral in here, which you could choose to use those. But I think I'm going to stay with the Fresh Freesia so that we have the accents in. And I'm using the larger ones this time. I think we used the smaller ones when we were together the last time. We also have these same larger flower in gold. And those are all in the annual catalog. He's a good guy. He puts up with a lot when it comes to me with Stampin' Up. But he also benefits from it, as will soon be experienced, because Norway is looming, which I am excited about. I'm so glad they changed the trip, because the trip was supposed to be to the Baltic this year. And I told him I didn't think that was probably the best trip for us to take, because it was going to like St. Petersburg in Russia, places like that. And I'm like, with everything going on that side of the world, I'm just not sure I want to do a port in Russia. So, well, see, it happened to you too. I know. It's crazy, Ashley. It's crazy. So I inked him up in Memento. You could ink him up in basic gray and give him a little bit of a gray feel. I'm hoping he fits on there. And one of the perks is that we can buy in guests with us. So my brother and his girlfriend are going with us. So that'll be fun. We're going in Royal Caribbean, which is my favorite cruise line. Okay, so more dimensionals. It's a very dimensionally night, isn't it? I'm going to use up the rest of these strips so I can throw this part away, since I have a larger space. But again, right, because we want this flap to fit in under the bunny, we're going to keep our dimensionals down here, and maybe one right under his nose. But first, before I do that, I am going to color his ear in. And this is dark petal pink. I wanted to put one of those pom-poms on him, but if you were going to mail it, that might make it a little bit more difficult with the pom-pom on his tail, right? And I just added a little bit to the nose area. All right, so, but this is really the important piece, is making sure that you are leaving enough space for that envelope flap to come down underneath, basically what I call the holder, right? This is going to hold everything in place for you. And it really does look like a very nice, very nicely decorated envelope. All right. So I always fold this down, so that helps me know. And I think I'm good. So I'm just leaving a little bit of space between the bunny worried about my nose there, but I think I'm all right. Yep, we're good. And there is a stepped up version of the envelope card. We did a little bit of embossing. We changed the basic white out to some petal pink. I'm gonna go a little softer this time. And we used the thick basic white as our card base for this one. Changed the orientation, added a little bling. And I have my first Easter card done. How cute. All right, guys. So here's the deal. Here's the dealio. And Debbie, you gave me the idea earlier today when I saw you posted the card from last week. If you make an envelope flap card, put it over on Stamp with Lori. Okay. Addicted Stamper. Stamp with Lori, Addicted Stamper. That's my VIP group. Post your picture of your card that you make. And I will not only draw a winner for the cards we made tonight, including the little owl guy, right? So there's our owl, there's our bunny, and there's our initial envelope card. But I'll draw a winner for some bling. I don't know what it'll be yet. It'll be something out of the catalog, out of the new catalog. But I'll draw a winner for some bling. Okay. But you have to post that project by Thursday morning before I go live for Coffee and Cards at 10. Okay. And then we'll have winner of the cards and we'll have a winner of some bling. And we all get to see your envelope cards, which is really cool. So I'll have Rick take pictures of these and put them up over there as well so you can see them. And I will try to take a picture. I'll draw something out for you so you have the measurements. But again, the base is 5.5 by 4.25. The piece that you're going to fold in half is 4.25 by 5.5 is the base. The piece that you're going to fold is 8 by 5.25. And then your square of designer series paper is 3.75 by 3.75. And as you can see, it does help to have a non-directional design on your designer paper. And you could flip this one around and use the little flowers on the white because that's an all over pattern as well. But you know, you have to be careful because if it's a directional pattern, you may end up with something upside down on the front of your card, which, you know, may be okay. You never know. But there you go, guys. Those are the projects for tonight. I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I love spending time with you. I'll be back on my YouTube channel Tuesday night at 8. I'm trying to remember what I'm doing. I think I'm playing with the pretty papers from Celebration Tuesday night. I got 2 cards for that. And then I'm back here again Thursday morning at 10 for our normal Coffee and Cards. Have a great week until I see you again. Be safe. And if you're in a cold area, stay warm. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.